But welcome to our App Academy. And next up, we have
Thank you.
VyaPay. We have Jude, Zach, and Mark joining us.
Hey everyone, my name is Zach. With VyaPay, as she might have said. Little background on me: I've been doing this for about 3 years. It's a family business, family owned and operated. I had a background as a master's in finance, and I've kind of taken that background in finance and put it to work in fintech and teaching companies how to drive efficiency across their organization with the velocity of money.
Good. Thank you, Zach. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep, yeah, we can say Mark.
Jude, you with us?
Yes, I am.
Great. So I'll kick us off here a little bit. Mark Rupp here. I am the Director of Strategic Relationships with VyaPay, and we are glad to be here, proud to be here. We always love joining our partners, kind of where they are, and sharing how to simplify what we do, which is payments, and how to take all those moving parts and kind of understand them in a way that makes sense. And we're going to do that today together. So that was Zach Swap. Zach's a great part of our team. We work hard together to build partnerships with groups just like Pro Advisors and accountants and QuickBooks and Xero and folks like Batchmaster. We have multiple relationships across multiple channels of ERP, accounting software, e-commerce clients, just about anywhere a payment can be made, we're there. So I want to introduce Jude. He's the latest addition to our sales team. And Jude and I go back, Jude, 20 plus years in this business together?
24.
24 years, that's right. So good to have you here, Jude. And I'll let you share a little bit about why you're here and what you want to accomplish today.
Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you to Insightful Accountant for having us today. As Mark said, I've been in the payment space, financial technology, and working with SMBs to enterprise to Fortune clients for 24 years of my life. 20 of those years have been dedicated to working with partners. And I'm very proud to say that I became a trusted advisor, something I learned while working at Intuit from 2003 up to 2011. And I had the pleasure of working with Intuit Premier providers, Intuit solution providers, retail solution providers. And it's amazing to me to see how the times have changed, where back in 2003, Intuit really wanted to have additional functionality and have payments within QuickBooks, and they called it QuickBooks Merchant Service. And that was reserved exclusively for Intuit users, built, developed, and designed by Intuit for QuickBooks. There were plugins, or what I call, points of areas of failure that could not work. And then as time went on, it became more about how do we support the client on an ecosystem of their accounting software, and how do we open that up to have apps for all these different companies so that the business can operate the way they want and have that freedom and flexibility, but we're still going to keep them on the Intuit platform. And so if you could actually go, Mark, I don't know what you're changing your earphones on the screen here, to the next slide. This is what excited me most about VyaPay. VyaPay is a Visa Direct certified financial technology platform. I call it one-to-many. And the ability to be agnostic, much like Intuit has become agnostic, regardless of what other solutions you use to run your business, we wanted to do the same thing, but across many ERP systems. So if you look at this slide, from commerce platforms of Salesforce to ERP systems, and whether we have Batchmaster or Oracle, SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, our goal was not to change how the merchant was going to do business or alter what they were investing in, because they've spent the money, they've spent the time, they've made the investment. So how do we meet the client's financial technology where they are, so that, like any good integrated solution, we're going to become more efficient. We're going to eliminate double data entry. We're going to save time. We're going to have more time to run and grow our business and less time having to manage the operations of it. And more importantly, if we could have that integration through all these systems and platforms in an agnostic fashion, that means that we are able to meet the client where they are with what they've invested in, and we don't have to worry about them using something different in order for us to be able to help and serve their financial technology in mitigating days sales outstanding, right down to improving time to cash, which typically with the automation and the things that we've built and some things that are very unique that you're going to see shortly, my colleagues Mark and Zach, is our goal is to increase that operational efficiency using what the merchant has invested in and decided to use today so that we can support them. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Jude. Great information. Just to expand a little bit on what Jude shared with you all, this is my 5th year with VyaPay, and having spent 20 years in this space, I evolved from restaurant hospitality, retail, then kind of into e-commerce. So I've had a taste and experience of each one of these channels in the payment space. And so now payments they're everywhere. They're in your phone. You can click an invoice and pay it on your computer, right? You can order food with DoorDash and pay and have food brought to your door with the credit card. So the idea that, payments are now inside of accounting systems, ERP systems. We have a new client that's a scanning type system, document scanning, that's adding us as a component to scanning documents. So we're seeing payments really evolve from such a place of swipe a card and get a receipt into just a full spectrum of transaction opportunities. And this is where I think most of our partners really appreciate the VyaPay approach, because they can, if you have a client that might be a restaurant and he has a website and he's got a digital billboard and he has a DoorDash account, well, he's got multiple points of payment, multiple points of integration. So it's important to have that partner that understands that integration from a card present at the side of the table side to an online order that needs to come into your kitchen and get out within a certain time frame, to maybe a B2B client, a manufacturing client needing to send an invoice and get that paid within a 30 to 60 day window, or hopefully shorter, to drive that timeline of revenue down. So regardless of where that payment's happening, we try to create a simple, straightforward environment for payments, and that includes pricing and integration. Let me go to the next slide. So some of the channels that we are finding a lot of success in is in these e-commerce platforms: Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, Magento. For those of you that have clients that have e-commerce, an e-commerce side to their business, you know what I'm talking about. So, having a Magento website needing to be integrated to your Acumatica or Xero to have those transactions integrate and post to the ledger and have that reconciliation back from your bank account to that ledger is so important. So across ERP systems, subscription billing, Zach's going to talk about it in a little bit. Omni-channel environments, I keep kind of touching on that, but taking a credit card in store to taking a payment online to clicking an invoice and taking a Visa business card. It all needs to happen on one platform. And this is where we drive a lot of value with our Visa Direct platform. So whether it's insurance, healthcare, just about anywhere a payment can happen, we're there. And here in North America, European, Asia Pacific, and Canada. So part of our solution provides what I like to call control. Some of our partners really appreciate that control, especially in the software space, right? Or I find it more in the software space because these clients have sold some software, but in the pro advisor environment or an accounting environment, you want what's best for your client. You're looking for efficiencies. You're looking to drive efficiencies and cost. So to do that, I think control is a good thing to have. And what I mean by that is we have a solution. It's a white labeled payment solution that allows our partners to take control of the payment piece and say, hey, you're my client, I'm your accountant, I'm your pro advisor, and here's an enrollment form that you can set your business up in minutes to accept all forms of payment and e-check and government card and P-card. You're live in minutes with my solution. So it's a self-directed, quick merchant boarding. We can set a price program that's relative to your clients. So if you're a pro advisor or an accounting firm that has a specific group of clients, maybe they're restaurants, right? Maybe they're manufacturing. We can set pricing specific to that channel of your business so that you're relevant and you can go to your client with a value that says, hey, I have the best price, the best integration. There's no cost to integrate. It's already done. And the price isn't going to change because I'm in control. If I, as your pro advisor, I recommend VyaPay or my own pay if you want to white label it, and you're in control. And that control piece is very important, from the integrity of that transaction, from the authorization to the settlement. You have a window in to see what's happening with your client's business. And I think that's really important as you grow your clients' relationships. And a lot of these clients start small and take off. So as they grow into new locations and grow into an e-commerce site and maybe evolve out of QuickBooks into a NetSuite or a Oracle environment, you're there at each step of the way with a relationship within their accounts receivable and payment side of the equation, which is where, again, we get a lot of great partnerships that say, hey, I'm not in payments, Mark. I'm an accountant. We're an accounting firm. We're not in payments, but we are in payments. So having your partner handle the simplicity of payment, saying, all right, pro advisor, if you want to refer a client to VyaPay, let's set a rate that you agree on and your client agree on. Let's create an enrollment form that's got your logo on it with ours, so it's an extension of your brand. And let's take care of that client on a different level. So gone are the days of handing that customer off to a third-party payment company and saying, hey, we recommend Global Payments and my rep's name is Bob and here's his email. You can say, here's a form. If you'll fill this out, you'll be live in a few minutes. So taking those moving parts out of payments and driving it down to a point of control, again, is where we get a lot of really happy clients and referral partners. So you'd be taking advantage of a global gateway, secure acceptance. We talked about that across any device, any platform, fully tokenized. Zach's going to get that in just a minute. Digital invoicing, 3DS secure, a virtual terminal, and all built for the pro advisor community. So part of the partner experience with us, again, allows you to create a custom template, board that client immediately. We set up a billing or relationship or a rate that you agree to. So again, that's key, and not having to say, well, I don't know the rate. I'll refer you over to my payment partner and they'll handle all that for you. Again, now you can say, hey, the rate for my restaurant clients is 2.5% flat, and that's the rate because I said it. Mr. Client, I'm now in control of some of these things that I'm helping you account for. So just an idea to help you think about how to be involved in pricing. Again, some of my clients say, hey, Mark, I'm not in payments, right? I'm an accounting firm. But if you can control price and cost and keep it consistent, that's very important. And then support level, we stand up all the transactional help, any user interface, product provisioning. We own all that. So you can be as involved as you'd like to be, or some of our clients say, hey, Mark, we just want to refer to VyaPay. Maybe we don't want to be so deep off into the payment space, but we love what you do. So we'll refer to you, and that's fine too. So there's kind of two ways to travel. Some folks love the white labeling environment, again, extending that brand, building your business, or just simply refer it off. But no, when you refer that client over to us, they're enrolling themselves in an environment like this. This is a sample enrollment form. This is one of our clients out of Dallas, and this is a link that gets emailed to the end user. The customer fills this out themselves, e-signs it, and they're live within minutes. So live for credit card and ACH or e-check, government cards, reoccurring billing with tokenization. That's becoming a really big theme now, right? Subscription and reoccurring. Customizable e-invoices, being able to send an invoice that's got your logo, that's got a link, that's secure to pay. That can happen in an email or a text. And then simplified pricing. I keep touching on that because pricing in this credit card industry is that, right? What's your rate? That's what we always hear in our industry. What's your rate? Well, with my partners, my pro advising partners, I say, look, let's set a rate that you think's fair, that makes sense to you and your client. So instead of saying, well, send me over a statement and we'll do an analysis, which we can, but the idea is that here's the rate, here's how you enroll. It's simple and it's straightforward and it's integrated. No contract term means we kind of have to earn your business every day, right? So we don't have a 3 or 5 year term with these early termination fees that some of your clients might get caught up with. So it's truly a simplistic way to accept payments with ease and convenience. So this is a little bit of this is a graph I share with some of my partners. that talks about, why would I want to get involved with payments, right? I'm an accounting firm, or I'm a pro advisor, I'm a software developer. So the idea that you can attach yourself to the ebb and flow of your clients' accounts receivables. Your clients are going to take payments. They're going to pay for that. There's a cost to it. It's not free. But if you can attach yourself to, number one, that level of service, that confidence of one price, that convenience that they have a great partner that you have a say-so in, that you're now riding with that ebb and flow of accounts receivable to add as a revenue stream. And you can do with that what you want. Jude's going to talk about that in just a second. But the idea that now there's multiple revenue streams, maybe it's billing, maybe it's consulting, right? Now it can be an accounts receivable environment that you're able to drive a component of revenue from that you can decide what to do with. Jude's going to talk a little bit about our partner program and some of the structures herein. So, Jude?
Sure. Thanks, Mark. So with VyaPay's partner program, the first and foremost area, competitive rev share. I know that there are individuals out there that work as pro advisors and work as CPAs and accountants. And, there are some individuals that want that rev share as a component of their business where they can actually provide incentives or provide different things to the end user in exchange to be attached to, like Mark said, the ebb and flow of their profitability. Because, if you're a trusted advisor to them, or you're involved in helping them build the business as a pro advisor or giving them guidance as a CPA, obviously you want them to grow their business, reduce their operational expenses, et cetera. You can also have a part in that. But let's say as a CPA firm, it's against your ethics, or taking a rev share is not something you want to do, even though you could, or maybe you can't. That's fine, because we can get very customized and creative for you, where if there is a client that you refer and you're against accepting rev share for yourself or for the firm, you have the ability of providing credits where rev shares that we're providing on the clients working with VyaPay through your referral, you can actually apply that credit to their billable hours and make your solutions or services potentially more cost effective, or even upsell your billable hours or solutions that you're being used for. So we're more than happy to discuss one-on-one how it works for you. Again, as Mark said, this is about control. It's about giving you the ability to be nimble, to work with a company who can be nimble like you with that superior service and support, which leads me to my next point of dedicated partner account management. So we will provide one point of contact for you, because we understand that your customers are your most important asset, and that's the reason you're in business. And we share that vested interest in your end user. Another reason why we're agnostic and we want to be neutral and meet the customer where they are in their technology and their business operation today. Training, we will have trainings, we will have different supports, meetings. We will take on topics perhaps that the base of pro advisors or CPA firms from Insightful Accountant would like to learn, like to talk more about. And finally, we are here to support you, our partner. So we're all about co-branding. We're all about working with you to create, the awareness and the knowledge and the education where your client can, again, operationally improve with a solution that's potentially more cost effective, more functional, and again, what's going to help them run and grow their business. Because at the end of the day, they really didn't open a business to save money. It's really all about business growth. So the more we integrate, the more efficiency that we offer, the more support we have in service, it lets you and the business owners do what you're designed to do. You work with more clients, and the business owners build their business and their customer base.
Great. Thank you, Jude. Appreciate that. Let me ask you, Jude, a quick question. Do you see a trend or an evolution happening from your perspective of across the years, where you've been in that Intuit world, where you had your great experience to what's happening now with ERP and software? Give me your
It's funny
perspective.
you asked that, because I forgot to mention earlier that I met Bob Allard, who many of you maybe know at Insightful Accountant, and we actually worked together with national accounts and franchises from 2007 to 2009, I believe, if I'm correct. And after that, we had worked, and I had worked personally with integrated technology and working with software partners that would integrate with Intuit Software Developer Kit, and then allow payment integration to happen from within the accounting software. And one of the biggest things that I've seen is it's really not about, you know, trying to have all these different software partners integrate to come to what Intuit is built, but rather Intuit is opening up their platform so they can accommodate as many apps and as many other things as possible, just to kind of keep you know, consumers loyal and stuck on the Intuit accounting software brand, which is great because that's what we support as well. But we didn't want to exclude a company like a Xero or another company that potentially would be viewed as a competitor, you know, to Intuit. Therefore, again, being able to meet the customer where they are, not just within their accounting software, but in how they operate across the entire spectrum of their operations, like we saw in slide 2, and as you alluded to, Mark. I think that's the biggest thing, open platform and being able to meet the customer. But I just think that we're trying to do that to a whole different level, to not have to control what the consumer decides to buy or the consumer having to change what they're using because they value integration.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jude. And that's kind of what I think I wanted to share with all on the call today. The idea that payments can be simple and they don't need to be the, you know, this algorithm of pricing and risk and confusion where clients are saying, hey, I never understand my rate. It always changes. I'm not sure what's happening over there. So again, back to that simplicity, ease, and convenience is kind of the message here. We're next going to bring up Zach Swap, and he's going to talk through some of the security and compliance features that we implement that I think will resonate with many of you as it relates to, you know, what's the safest PCI compliance. My clients have a need for security within their you know, within their business as they take a payment. Maybe it's a restaurant, maybe it's a manufacturing or distribution, maybe they're taking payments over the telephone and they're keying that into a device somewhere. So this is a really important component. I'm glad Zach's going to share it with you all. And Zach,
Thanks
ready?
for that, Mark and June. There's a lot of moving pieces here. Appreciate
Yep.
it. So even more beyond just security, we're going to other features. So this would be one of our first ones. We don't just do receivables, we do payout or payables as well. So while not directly linked to our accounts receivable automation for AR and QuickBooks, we can streamline the amount of time spent managing payables or payments to suppliers and B2B types of transactions. Using Visa Direct Rails, it's much faster than doing checks or ACH. This is kind of the cutting edge in the future since transactions are processed in real time. It can be available in 30 minutes of approval. You get a payment confirmation, and it can distribute funds to credit accounts, bank accounts, debit cards, wallets, and prepaid cards. So our platform is eligible to make payments to cards around the world in 180 different markets, 20 currencies, and to assist companies in making the velocity of money to their advantage and saving time, speeding up cash flow.
Yeah, that's awesome. So thanks, Zach. So payouts, right? Sending money out as quickly as you're taking it in, right? So that's
Yep.
that's a great new addition that we've added. And some of our partners that find this useful is in financing companies, leasing companies, groups that maybe have to split revenue out to different parties based on contracts. So this is a great new tool. Thanks, Zach. Let me go to the next slide.
Yeah, and from that, usually we see about a 30% reduction in the time staff spends on managing, you know, these receivables and payables. So there's wages that can be saved and time that could be delegated to other tasks across an organization.
Great.
So this is our next tool. So digital invoicing and surcharging. I'm sure many of you may be pretty familiar with digital invoicing and the term surcharging, but I'm going to still go into the benefits. Okay, so for invoicing, it can simplify and save time for internal, external audits. It can help authorities easily view and analyze invoices. We can consolidate multiple payments for a single outstanding debt. It makes it easier to access invoices anytime, anywhere, improve timeliness and levels of customer service and experience. Invoicing can help in sending reminders. We set for recurring invoices, which I'll go in a little bit later. We also have our surcharging is gap compliant, and which we will help customers offset their fees with. We get a lot of complaints from fees, and sometimes people are interested in surcharging. So there's plenty to review with customers on how to be compliant in that aspect, as far as state jurisdiction goes and across the country. And so since we're embedded in QuickBooks and others, Xero, NetSuite, some of the other ones Mark and Jude mentioned, we have a two-way sync and an assist in managing the overall cash flow. Utilizes AI to automate accounts receivable and the reconciling process.
Awesome.
So on our next slide here, I have Account Updater. What this function is going to do, it's going to keep your customers up to date by it's the customer payment data up to date, and it's going to reduce failures and improve customer retention. But with automatic updates, automatic updates are made to participating Visa, MasterCard, and Amex cards, ensuring expiration dates, account closures, new card numbers, payment card brand migrations are always current, so they don't miss anything. The reason this is valuable to your customer is it helps avoid service interruptions and missing billing cycles by updating online customer data.
It's awesome. I know, Zach, we have some clients in our B2B side of the house that use Account Updater, as they have clients in a vault, right? Their customers in a vault, and they're
Right.
billing those clients on something monthly. May not be a subscription. It might be an invoice that's set on a 4-pay. So the client might need to accept, $800 on the 3rd of the month for next 4 months. And they put that card in as tokenized. Now, if that card expiration date comes up in that time window, Account Updater will update that card so that next payment isn't missed or failed, and that the merchant has to call their client and say, hey, we weren't able to debit the card. Could you please give us some new information? So small things like that have proven to really be helpful for our clients that use multiple pay or reoccurring or subscription. So it's a great
Yeah,
tool.
that way they don't miss a billing cycle. And
Yeah.
that this goes along with token management, which we're about to go into here soon. Yep. So this is the next one. As soon as the part of token management, what it is as soon as a payment is complete for an order or a service that was fulfilled, the payment data is added to a customer profile that's usable later. Token management service feature helps customers speed up cash flow by having the ability to build a card at their convenience. Usually recurring customers, or if it's a customer calling through the phone, making another order. This speeds up the checkout in the future for repeat customers across all platforms in which we do payments on. This can be for invoicing, and this can be for e-com. Maybe your customers don't all do e-com, but at some point, every growing business must consider creating an e-com storefront for their business in order to get more sales, whether it's B2B sale or B2C. We see e-com platforms growing exponentially every year, especially after events like COVID. E-com transactions are on the rise consistently. So customers can leverage network tokens for streamlining handling of multiple payment methods and token types, security against breaches, higher authorization to increase approvals by having that card on file. So less declines. That means higher turns. So personalized payment experience. We have seamless applications of loyalty programs if needed. We won't go too much into that, but automatic updating of customer cards, and this all follows PCI compliance. So yeah, so we're on to recurring billing here. Recurring billing. This is one of our features we have that QuickBooks doesn't provide. It's provide tools for the management specifically, and our product supports subscription, installment payments. Sensitive payment information is stored in a secure data center, reducing storage risk and PCI compliance scope. A recurring billing can process subscriptions from across the globe using a subscription ID that takes the place of sensitive card data, and it enables you to accept recurring payments via all major cards and regional cards in multiple currencies, as I mentioned earlier. You can configure renewal and cancellation rules, customize recurring payment presentment, collection notices, and subscription anniversary reminders. All of this helps business streamline subscription management globally to drive growth, minimize churn, and retain customers. So next, this is a fraud. I mentioned PCI. This is one of our fraud tools, Decision Manager. Decision Manager provides the is a proven fraud tool with deep data insight and advanced intelligence. It optimizes your customers' fraud strategies. This is really useful to customers when they're expanding and breaking into new markets. Oftentimes we see fraud when you're growing new channels in a business. So we have a data-rich machine learning. By using advanced machine learning insight from over 141 billion global transactions processed by Visa, we get insight from more than 260 validation tests and automatically assess risk over every transaction and generate more accurate scores. So we get to customize our risk strategies with all this insight, and I'll get into how we consult customers later, but quickly create tailored business rules based on channel, country, and product lines, depending on verticals. And for this tool specifically, we have an integrated dashboard. So you get the flexibility of case management systems to help you review more cases, make faster, more accurate decisions, quickly identify returning customers, turn individual case into valuable collective knowledge for the organization. Okay. 3D Secure. So this is one of our last tools for risk. It's 3D Secure. Not everybody needs 3D Secure, but it's something that goes on every platform. It's for invoicing. It's for e-com. This risk tool we have outside of, this is beyond personal consulting. This tool helps in minimizing false negative transactions and driving conversions through insight. What I mean by this is we'll filter out bad transactions up front by matching IP addresses of the purchaser with cardholder names, and we'll provide other insight to card issuers who are issuing these declines. And when we reduce declines, we lower cost per acquisition, and it helps verify the transaction with the card issuers. So 3D authentication provides customers with rich data, as I might have mentioned. So yeah, we see this beneficial mostly in the B2C environment, but in some use cases it is B2B. It's just, there's a lot of friendly fraud that goes on in the B2C environment. So more transparent risk review helps preserve a positive consumer experience.
That's great. I know, Zach, we have a client that just added this, right? So 3D is a little new, but quickly being adopted. We have a client that sells high-end meat products, and they've been around 40 plus years, maybe 50. I think maybe hitting right at 50 years. And so they're all of a sudden, after all these years in business, having these transactions fail and cards decline for what they're calling fraud. And they're coming to us as their partner saying, hey, what's happening here, right? We never really experienced this level of transactional issues before. So we added the 3D Secure, which they thought, by the way, would be a little bit of a hindrance to their shopping experience because you got to do a couple steps, right? But
Mhm.
it's really helped them to take out that component that they all, after all these years of business, said, "Hey, Mark, we don't have fraud clients. We've never had this issue, right? We have great clients. They're 80% repeat customers and a demographic that's kind of older, right? Higher end consumers, demographics. What's going on?" So we added this to their shopping cart experience and really turned that around for them. So
Yeah, certainly.
thank you.
Yeah, that was a really unfortunate incident. And he even had some fraud coming from within their organization, and we were able to catch this with their tools. You know, employees running cards
Yeah.
unjustly that weren't theirs, and by having this IP verification, you don't in large organizations you never know where fraud's going to come from or where the transaction's originating. So this is something that people have to think about. It's a very serious problem, and it's much more substantial than it was, even a year ago. So
Yeah.
we see that in our customer portfolio, fraud on the rise, and we can mitigate a lot of loss with these tools for merchants when they least expect it. So
Yeah, that's a
it's
good
really
point.
beneficial to him.
What sometimes now in my conversations with our partners, whether it be, Acumatica, QuickBooks, NetSuite, accounting firms, I'm bringing up topics just like this to say, hey, maybe there's an opportunity to have a discussion with your client base around security and payment security. And that's a good conversation to have, right? Because some clients don't have an issue, but some say, you know what, I want to learn more about that. Could I do more? Or what could I be doing to either enhance my revenue or protect my business? So great product.
We have here account takeover protection. So I was gonna skip this one for now. It would be very long-winded, and
Okay.
I actually prefer going into this with whoever wants to talk to us later about it.
Sure.
Okay. So this is our managed risk services. This is where we're really different in our space as far as how we work with our customers. VyaPay, we're different from QuickBooks Payments and large providers because we will consult with our merchants on how to manage risk and lower their chargebacks. The way we consult with our merchants by providing insight on the course of actions that they should take in fighting chargebacks when they arise, when that fraud comes around and they didn't expect it. Our support and education we provide our merchants to run their business more successfully is unmatched. And our managed risk service team offers different levels of service depending on the need for your business. This is very vertical specific. So whoever we get in front of, there's going to be a lot of consultation that they're not going to be charged for. And, we love to check in with them all the time. So VyaPay helps you get to market faster at lower risk. Our risk analysts work with you to assess risk on the new channel, to give guidance on security validation, create optimal new rule sets, and more. With managed risk services, you can speed up and simplify your entry into new geographic markets with analysts across 6 continents. So scale up quickly, support peak seasons. Some businesses are very seasonal. So yeah, when you're planning for busy periods, our managed risk service team will help you develop, test, and implement operational strategies. Okay.
I just want to let you know we have about 2 minutes left before.
Okay. Really quickly, this is our business center. So our business center will offer you, the partner, insight on all payment data on your customers. It's very data centric as far as you get to see fees, manage chargebacks, see monthly volumes, and watch your customer base grow. You get an idea of compensation, where their payouts are, where their deposits are, what kind of card brands they're taking most of. And it's really helpful to our partners. I'm glad to discuss later.
Thanks, Zach. I know we're headed to the end of our time here. This is our contact information. Feel free to reach out. We're here to help in any way that we can to help you or your customers, with payments, any questions, reach out anytime. We're here to help. I think we have a question.
They asked, they want to know if you're going to be at Scaling New Heights.
We will.
In July, in June in Orlando.
Mark?
Oh, we're attending the June. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gotta look into that. I gotta look at our schedule and see if we're headed to that. That's a good question. I'll
I'm
get back to
sure
you on
one
that.
of us will make it happen.
Yeah, one of us is probably headed out there.